Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Marsee and I'm going to be your instructor this fall for English 101. I wanted to welcome you and give you a little bit of tour of our class so that you get a little sense of it before you start exploring on your own and beginning our first week. So this is essentially our home page. This is where you will always land when you click on the icon in the dashboard to find our class. One way that you can get to all of our weekly modules is to click on the module that we're in. So for the first week, obviously, we're going to be in Module 1, the start here, and then I have the dates of that module as a reminder for you. So when it's time for Module 2, you'll be reminded of the due dates or the time period that module takes place, and again, you can click on that to go to the module. It'll look a little bit like this, just so you can kind of see what it'll look like. You'll click on there, click on the title, and it brings you to Getting Started Week 1. Now, the other way you can get to modules is to actually go to the course menu and hit modules right here. And that will also bring you to our modules, and then you can go on down and go to whichever module we are in. Now, when you're working in a module, maybe you don't want to see the rest of them because it's too much visual mess on your screen. You can open it and close modules with this little arrow right here. So if you click on it, it closes the module up. But if you're working in that module and you wanted it open, then you can click on it and it opens up the module and you can see all of the files and pages and assignments in that module. So that's just a little bit of how that works. Also, each week, you will see one or two announcements. That here in the announcements, and while you don't see it right, oh no, we can see it, there we go. You'll also be reminded up here of any new announcements that I've posted. So you can always see the announcements there. So be on the lookout for them. I try to send them once or twice a week. You can also get to your grades here in the course menu. That is where you will see all of the feedback on your assignments from me. So you're going to want to get to know this particular area of the class quite a bit, because all of the feedback that I provide you on rough drafts and some of our other practice assignments is feedback that you will need to use and implement as you continue your writing. So this is going to be a really important place for you to go to and get comfortable with so you can see my feedback. You also have a direct link to the tutoring center. I cannot recommend it highly enough. They're available in person, online, and they have access to tutors 24/7. So you have no excuse not to get that extra help with revising or editing. You can also reach our syllabus right here. That'll be one of the assignments that you have in this first week, is to go through the syllabus and make sure that you understand it and you don't have any questions. Now, I know students love to look at the to-do list to see what assignments they have, but please, I strongly recommend that you always go to the modules. Why? Because you will often have pages or information material that are sometimes in those modules that are going to help you with the assignment. So I strongly recommend, instead of using the to-do list too much, to actually go in the module and go through and note your days and activities. All right, so a little bit more about the class. As you can see, we've got 5 modules. There we go. We've got 5 modules. Module 1 is just to give you some foundations of the class, get you warmed up, doing a little reflective writing. Module 2 is kind of a practice module. We're going to learn the skill of summary writing and response writing, and you're going to have some assignments to practice those skills. Because in Module 3, we will be writing a more formal essay, which is a formal summary and response essay. In Module 4, we're going to start working on research, specifically using library databases and considering how to find research materials and evaluate them for credibility and usefulness in addressing a research question that you'll be working on. And then Module 5 will be putting all of that collection of research that you found in Module 4, putting it together and using it to write a persuasive essay. And that will be our final essay assignment for the class. So that's kind of the process that we'll be going through and sort of the components that we will be hitting. You'll also notice that this first week, I have a little introductory overview for you. This video will be appearing here once I'm done. And I'll make sure that picture comes through. So what you're seeing here is a little explanation of our course and some of the assignments, the weekly layout. Please note that our assignments, you will have 1 to 3 assignments every week. So some weeks it's 1, some 2, some 3. Assignments will always be due on either a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. So you will just, make sure you look each week at which assignments and due dates you have so that you can plan accordingly. And let's look at that a little more detail. Here's an example of your first week assignments. You'll notice that I have in parentheses things like 30 minutes, an hour. That's to give you an idea of about how long this assignment will take for you to complete. Now, some of you might do it a little more quickly, some of you may take a little longer, but this is a pretty decent average amount of time that it should take to complete the assignment. That way you can plan ahead. So if you know, for example, that maybe you're not really good on working on a single assignment for a full hour straight. So maybe you want to work on this assignment a little bit earlier on the week for 30 minutes and then come back to it and finish it off for 30 minutes on your Saturday. So this helps you kind of plan your time. And it also gives you an idea of how much time you'll need to complete it. I always recommend looking ahead at the assignments at the beginning of the week. So if there are assignments that you feel like, ooh, it's going to take me a little more time to think through, again, you can give yourself that time to be able to do it. Especially because I'm not real gracious about accepting late assignments. You can see the weeks. You have all of the information you need to plan ahead and plan accordingly. So, if you're going to be late on something, I need to know beforehand, not later. And I might be able to grant you a little bit of a 24-hour period or something. But again, all of the assignments are open. You've got more than enough time to plan ahead. So just get your assignments in on time. Now, with that said, if we take a look at those modules again, you'll see that this first week, you have some general information to go through. It's probably going to be a little familiar to you because any other online classes you have, they kind of have you go through these same resources. But for this week, again, here's that syllabus acknowledgement that you have due, the practice activity, and a little reflective writing. Then when we hit next week, you go ahead and open that module. I'll have, again, a weekly overview and a module overview so that you can kind of see how we're progressing for that module and what we will be accomplishing. So hopefully that helps to give you a little bit of an idea of what our class is looking like. Again, with English 101, first year composition, this is all about sort of breaking you back into academic writing, to be thinking about what it is to create your own responses to professional and academic materials, to demonstrate how you can be a part of a community that shares in ideas and exchanges ideas, as well as looking and researching into topics and issues that are around us and in your designated areas that you may be going into with your education, and demonstrating how you can participate in discussing the issue and maybe providing some potential solutions to those problems. Now, everything in the class is curated for you. There is no textbook to purchase. Everything you'll need will be right here in the class structure, and you'll see that each week. And while things like grammar and mechanics are important, I'm largely looking for your ability to develop thoughtful, informative writing that demonstrates the ability to support your ideas, to be able to use successfully certain skills like summary writing and response writing and integrating outside materials. Last but not least, I'm also looking for you to be able to do this on your own. You will see in the syllabus policy and other places, I do not accept AI-generated material. That is because we're here, I've given you tools to do things like create an introduction on your own. If you're given ways to do that, you should be able to think that through on your own without needing AI. once you build this foundation, I realize lots of you are going to be using that in your professional life, and that's fine. Use it there. But this class is to build a foundation so that later when you go do probably use AI, you even know if the AI is any good. Without having this foundation, you won't be able to really understand whether the material is useful because you've got nothing to gauge it by, and you haven't had an opportunity to see what good stuff looks like, basically, successful, effective materials look like. So again, in this class, I'm looking for your thoughts, your techniques, your ability to create an introduction to draw your readers in. I'm not interested in how AI does it. So be prepared. We're going to start working some of those writing and creative muscles and critical thinking muscles in your brain so that you can do this on your own if you need to. Okay? So I really am looking forward to working with all of you. Hopefully you'll enjoy the materials. I've tried to make it very reasonable and attainable for your busy schedules. Of course, always reach out with questions or concerns. You can email me through the campus inbox or at my CGCC email. I'll have the office hours listed here, but I'm also pretty much available if you need to set up a virtual meeting with me in the evenings and that type of thing. So just reach out and ask me, and we'll make something happen for you, okay? All right, you guys have a great rest of the week. I'm super looking forward to our time together. Take care, and let's get started.